Welcome to Impact OC, the only program showcasing the people and organizations shaping Orange County. With your host, Don Camber.
Hello, live from the OC Talk Radio studios at UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Center. I'm OC Talk Radio Public Affairs Director Don Camber with another great guest who positively impacts our community. Today I welcome Executive Coaches of Orange County Chief Executive Officer Shaheen Husain. She's a purpose-driven, entrepreneurial, nonprofit executive with a strong community network, skilled in creating and nurturing partnerships that result in increased funding and community recognition. Thank you, Shaheen, for being on Impact OC.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me.
The Executive Coaches of Orange County's mission is to help nonprofit managers fulfill more of their nonprofit management mission. It has a roster of over 50 experienced executives who volunteer for the organization. Please explain why nonprofit leaders need coaching.
Such a great question. And this is a tired old analogy, but as you know, athletes, both elite and non, have a coach, and to get better and to have more impact. So our feeling is that for our nonprofits and the leaders to have increased impact, especially in these times, it's important to have a coach. And it is our star service that we provide. We are well known for our one-on-one coaching of nonprofit leaders to have greater impact.
Can you explain how the coaching occurs?
The coaching occurs, the process of getting a coach is, if you're a nonprofit leader or a high potential leader, you go to our website, fill out a client form, and we will match you with a coach depending on what your needs are. So it's simple as that. And my mission is to get the word out that it's here for you, nonprofit leaders. Please take advantage of it.
Can you explain how the coaching occurs? What goes on in a session?
Well, in a session, what happens is your coach will talk to you and do some intake about what are the areas you're looking to improve upon. Depending on that, we will create a program or a process that will help take you to your goals. And what we look at are what your needs are. And in your client application, you will tell us you want help with fundraising, you want help with leadership, you want help with managing your team. Based on that, we will work with you to get you to your goal.
Can you give us an example?
Well, I have a client who's a CEO of a nonprofit, and one of the challenges is the board. So right off the bat, we decided that we need to look at how to best leverage the board for her work. I don't know if you know this, but within the nonprofit structure, the CEO is actually reporting to the board. So the importance of a great board is supreme. So we're working with her and her board to make sure they're all heading in the right direction.
So would the coach coach both of them? The CEO and the board, or just the CEO first?
Interesting you said that. I coached the CEO and then brought in another colleague who's really great at working with boards, strategic planning, board retreats, and he took the reins in creating a board retreat. And from that, we went on to strategic planning for the organization.
What are some of the common problems that occurs that requires coaching?
Well, a lack of clarity. I mean, coaches can help the nonprofit leader really distill down 2 or 3 key areas that the nonprofit leader needs to work on or pay attention to get to the ultimate goal, which is a really fine running nonprofit that has money coming in, has an engaged board, and is actually serving the mission of the nonprofit.
What are the key factors
of
that often occur that would require a good coach that they focus on?
Well, the key factors, I mean, what drives a client to us is that something is not quite working, either with the CEO's executive team or with the board itself, or maybe the mission is not getting accomplished. So why is that? Or it could be as simple as a nonprofit leader thinking, well, am I in the right place? Is this the right position for me right now? So I've had many conversations with my clients about their career path. They may want to advance, or they may want to advance out into another nonprofit.
Explain the executive director forums.
So the best way to tell you about it is, I don't know if you know the organization Vistage. It's a group of trusted other executive directors from other nonprofits, and it's a pod. So it's a small group of 10 to 12 nonprofit CEOs who will periodically come together to share confidentially their challenges, their wins among peers. And it's facilitated by the coaches. So it's a trusted group of peers that you can talk to about anything. And our participants find it very helpful because they're able to talk about issues that they really can't talk to someone in their own organization.
What are some of the issues?
You name it: fundraising, boards, boards that don't support them, a team that's not functioning well. So that's a short list of what they talk about.
What have you seen as a result of people who have experienced coaching from the organization?
Well, I think at the very basic level, and maybe the most important, is that they feel heard. They don't feel alone. You know, the saying, it's lonely at the top, it's actually true. So having a coach, they actually feel like somebody's listening to them. And not only that, but offering together solutions or ways to go to resolve something. And a lot of times when we talk things through, I've found that people are wanting permission, that they actually have an idea of which way to go, but they want to run it by a trusted advisor.
Explain strategic planning.
I call it, if you don't have a roadmap, how are you going to get there? So strategic planning is a service we offer nonprofits and their leaders and their boards to help lay out the next 3 to 5 years. In this environment, it's more like the next year to 3 years. If you have certain goals or if you have certain challenges, how are you going to get there? So we help build a roadmap in conjunction with the board, usually, and the CEO, and have a strategic planning session to help guide the mission and the organization towards its goal.
Board excellence.
Board excellence. So glad you brought that up. This is a new program we just launched, and I'm so happy about it because it's a joint venture between 2 nonprofits. So Executive Coaches of Orange County and Charitable Ventures, another really highly regarded nonprofit. We have looked at the one thing that can determine the success or not of a nonprofit, and it tends to be the board. And what we have come up with is a program where Charitable Ventures will provide an actual assessment that the executive director or CEO will take with a board chair and the board members, and that'll provide a snapshot of where everybody is in regards to several things. And then the coaches, we will come in and coach for success based on the results of the assessment.
Tell us the role of a board to a nonprofit.
The board has a fiduciary and governance role. So if you have a great board, the members will actually help you get to where you want to go. They will open doors. They will help guide the next few years that the nonprofit will travel. the road that it needs to travel. It's a supportive group of people who not only give of their own treasure, but they will bring in other folks to help the nonprofit succeed.
So it's careful to decide who is on a board.
Bingo. So that's the other sort of unstated service that we can help with. If you need help recruiting board members, we can provide our input. We don't actually do that for you, but there's another nonprofit that can help with that.
What are the requirements to get a coach?
We ask that the person be at a leadership level or a high potential, who's a rising star, and be clear enough about what you need on your application and apply, and then we'll do the match.
Do you ever deny applications?
We don't deny, but we do coach the person who may not be the right fit, but there are other nonprofits that can definitely help the individual.
Explain your collaboration with the Orange County Community Foundation.
They are an old partner, and at a very basic level, they manage our fund, which is what helps fund us, executive coaches of Orange County. And if appropriate, they will send people our way who want to be a coach. So they're also a feeder for potential executive coaches.
The Orange County SCORE chapter.
Interestingly enough, the founder and some of our board members are from SCORE. And the founder, Robert Cryer, 23 years ago, said, it's great we help small businesses. What about the nonprofits that are actually helping? They are the safety net of our society. So his thought was, let's start Executive Coaches of Orange County, who provide many pro bono services to the nonprofit world. So a lot of that cadre of key SCORE people are still with us. They're on the board. They're also coaches. So that's the history, and we continue that.
1OC.
1OC is a great partner because they give us space to meet monthly, because we're pretty virtual in some ways. We don't have a brick and mortar. So thank you, 1OC, for giving us a space to work in and meet. And those clients or organizations that may benefit from 1OC's services, we sort of trade with each other. If 1OC gets a client who could use our help, we will take them on as a client.
You briefly mentioned charitable ventures. Talk about it more now.
Charitable ventures they do so much. Our relationship to Ann Olin and her group goes back a while. But the reason I'm excited right now is that this is the first time we're actually doing a partnership with them to provide value-add service. And this is our first foray into a 4-fee service. This is going to be a moneymaker.
When you say 4 fee, does that mean you'll start charging?
We will charge for this particular service because aside from the executive director forum, all the other work we do is pro bono. So given the state of things, we do need to raise funds. We do need to put a price to the service we provide. And it's still a great fee for a nonprofit that wants to really assess its board and get it on the right track.
Who chooses to be a coach?
That's such a great question. If you look at the roster of our coaches, they range from senior execs who've decided to retire from their corporate jobs. I have interviewed people who are still working, running their own enterprise. They also want to give back to the community, the nonprofit sector in specific. There are retired CEOs who've said, I've done my run. I need to now give back. So it ranges from retired CEOs to working executive VPs in banks, for example. So it's a whole gamut of folks. But the key thing is they want to raise up the Orange County nonprofit community, and they have very specific skills that they can apply to that.
Now, you interview them to make sure they'll be a good coach.
Absolutely. We have a pretty rigorous interview process. Once they're interviewed and they make the cut, there is a rigorous mentoring process. So they sit in on coaching sessions, and the mentor observes them when they do the coaching. So we vet our coaches pretty thoroughly.
So you probably find there's some nonprofits that are spanking brand new who are not sure what they're doing, and they really benefit from your organization.
They can, and we're going through a discussion of what size of an organization really would benefit from what we do. The startups are a little too young, so we may refer them to 1OC or charitable ventures to help with their back end stuff like HR and so on. But we're finding there are more and more startups that we may look at, but that's not our target necessarily.
Can you give us an outline of what a successful nonprofit will do?
It will raise up our community. The nonprofits are the safety net of society. And if the nonprofit sticks to its mission and really does it well, it helps the entire community.
So how does one successfully start one and keep it a success?
Be really focused on what it is that you do. Make sure that you can collaborate with others. There's no need to be a lone ranger in this. So I'm always preaching collaboration for success.
What's your website?
ecofoc.org.
Thank you, Executive Coaches of Orange County, Chief Executive Officer Shaheen Husain, for being on Impact OC. And I thank everyone for tuning in. I'm OC Talk Radio Public Affairs Director Dawn Camber. Have an impactful day.
You've been listening to Impact OC, the only program showcasing the people and organizations shaping our community. Right here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.